you have to remember that it's you against you. Make sure that you hold yourself accountable. Thing that keeps you motivated to go to the gym is not necessarily having the motivation, but is having self-discipline. Waking up at 6 a.m. has been such a game changer for me. Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gisleniq if this is your first time here. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a 6-month recap. We are officially halfway into the year, and I did a vision board back in January of all the goals that I have for myself in 2024. So since we are halfway into the year, I figured now is the perfect opportunity to hop on camera and talk to you guys about some of the things that I've learned and some of the things that I've done this year to really level myself up, as well as some of the things that haven't really been working and what I plan to do to kind of get myself back on track so I can reach the goals that I have for myself for this year. So if you guys want to hear some more about the things that I've learned and some of the things that I've picked up to level myself up, then go ahead and keep watching. Alright, so like I mentioned, back in January, I created a video where I kind of did my vision board with you guys. If you guys haven't watched it, I'll make sure to link it above so you guys can go watch it. And I kind of talk a little bit more about some of my main goals for 2024. So one of my main goals for 2024 was to be in really good shape and be like consistent with the gym. And I will say that I am right now to this day in the best shape that I've ever been in my life. Like honestly, I have never looked the way that I look. Don't get me wrong, I still have a lot more work to do, but I'm very impressed with, you know, how much I've been able to accomplish in the 6 months that we've had in 2024. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that have really helped me kind of get to the point that I am in now. So the first thing that I have done in 2024 that's helped me really level up and get to my fitness goals is picking up running. So if you guys have been watching my videos, you guys know that I picked up running a few months ago, and honestly, running, I didn't realize how beneficial it was for my physique. I've been going to the gym consistently and I've been counting my macros consistently. However, I didn't really notice a change in my body, especially like my stomach area, until I started running. Like that is really when I felt like I started to drop the weight and I started to see my stomach slim out, which is I feel like the thing that I was struggling with the most. I just felt like I always had that like lower belly, but when I started running, that lower belly went away. And honestly, I still don't have abs, which is one of my goals, but that also has a lot to do with the fact that I don't do abs as much as I probably should. So that's definitely something that in the next 6 months I'm gonna try to be more consistent with and really pick up after all my workouts, or at least the majority of my workouts do a little ab routine, because I really feel like that would really help strengthen my core and get me those abs that I'm looking for. But yeah, running has really slimmed my waist down and slimmed down other areas as well. And so yeah, it's like now I've become obsessed, and not only with the results that I get physically from running, but running has also really helped me mentally. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the term runner's high, but I've experienced it like 2 or 3 times, and honestly it's such a like out of body feeling. Like I just really can't describe it, but I love the feeling of having a runner's high. I like sometimes I'm running and trying to push myself so I can get that runner's high, because it honestly just feels so amazing. And just to like push myself to those new limits has just been such a good thing for me mentally and physically as well. So yeah, so that's the first thing that I would say that in 2024 I've picked up that has really helped me level up, and that is running. Not only has it helped me level up mentally, but it's also helped me level up physically, and it really has helped me like push myself and understand that like if I set my mind to something, I can accomplish it as long as I continue to push and push and push. And so yeah, that is the first thing. I think that running is definitely going to be something that's going to be a part of my life for a very, very long time. I even got the Garmin watch because now I'm like literally obsessed with, you know, tracking my pace and all that stuff. So that is the first thing. Okay, so now the second thing that is also kind of tied into health and like fitness and stuff, and that is having self-discipline. So I know a lot of people, sometimes they ask like, oh, how do you stay consistent with going to the gym? Like, how do I stay motivated with going to the gym? And honestly, to me, the thing that keeps you motivated to go to the gym is not necessarily having the motivation, but it's having self-discipline. It's about being like, today I don't have the motivation to go to the gym, but I have to go because it's a part of my routine. It's a part of something that I have to do for myself. And when I kind of shifted the mentality of not necessarily thinking like, oh, I don't have the motivation to go to the gym today, so I'm not gonna go, and it became like a priority for me, that's when things really started to shift. And that's when I really started to see progress in my physique and just my attitude towards the gym. Because now it's, if I don't go to the gym, I feel bad, and it's gonna be like a mental battle for me because I didn't go to the gym. So I would rather go to the gym so I don't have to deal with that. And so yeah, I really think that having self-discipline has really helped me be consistent with the gym. And that's with a lot of other things. I always tell my therapist, this is the year of self-discipline. This is the year of self-discipline. And it doesn't only just apply to the gym, but just with everything else. Even when it comes down to like counting my macros, like as annoying as it is sometimes to, you know, you're starving, you just want to sit down, serve your plate and eat. I have to give myself those extra like 3 to 5 minutes where I sit there and count my macros for my meals, so that way I know what it is that I'm taking, and so I know how much protein I've had for the day, how much fat, how much carbs. And that has also really helped with the physique that I have now. And yeah, it's just one of those things where if you have certain goals for yourself, you have to remember that it's you against you. So it's gonna be you against that little voice in your head that's telling you like, oh, I don't want to do this today, I'm not in the mood today, can't be bothered with this. You have to tell that voice in your head like, nah, you're not about to sit here and get between me and the goals that I have for myself. We're not doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what it is that I have to do, so that way I can reach the goals that I have for myself. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you know, I'm really not feeling it, but what I do is I have to go to the gym 3 times a week, minimum 3 times a week. And so if I can't hit those 3 times a week during the week, then I have to make it up during the weekend. Like, it's just, you have to make sure that you hold yourself accountable, because at the end of the day, if you're not holding yourself accountable, you can't expect people to hold you accountable, because again, it's you against you. Like, nobody's gonna sit here and try to make sure that they're pushing you to reach your goals, because you reaching your goals is really gonna help you at the end of the day. It could help somebody else, but it really ultimately helps you the most. So you have to be able to have the self-discipline to do what it is that you set out to do, because if not, you're the one that's not going to reach the goal, not the other person. All right, so now the third thing that also ties to my health, but it also kind of ties into just life and like my lifestyle and being able to just make the most of my day, and that is waking up at 6 a.m. Sometimes I wake up around either 6 a.m. or 6:30. As you guys know, I've put out about like 2 6 a.m. morning routine videos on my channel. So that has really shifted just like my productivity for the day. I was the type of person who I just like went to sleep super late, and then I would wake up whenever the next morning, and then, you know, I'd start my day around like 10 or 11 a.m. And honestly, that, as much as I love to sleep, I realize now that I wake up at 6 a.m. how much of the day I would waste by starting my day at 10 or 11. And so waking up at 6 a.m. has been such a game changer for me because I'm up before a lot of people. Now, not so much, but in the winter, I would be up before the sun. And so, you know, I would have my time for me, and then I go to the gym. And by the time I would get home from the gym, it was only like 10 or 11 a.m. And then I still had like the rest of the day to do whatever it is that I had to do. So me getting up at 6 a.m. has really helped with my productivity, and I just get so much more done in the day. I will say I definitely go to sleep a lot earlier, which I still don't feel like is the worst thing. It's helped me with my eating my dinner earlier, because again, now my meals are a lot earlier, which has helped a lot as well with the physique, because I'm not eating, you know, my dinner at 10 p.m. and then going to sleep an hour later, you know what I mean? So just overall, waking up at 6 a.m. has really shifted just like my lifestyle completely. And honestly, I feel like I'm gonna probably continue to do it. I will admit, I don't wake up at 6 a.m. on weekends. Like when it comes to Saturday, Sunday, I'm sleeping in, because usually I like to stay up a little bit later on Fridays and Saturdays. I just personally, as much as I love getting up at 6 a.m., I am just that girl who likes to be up late at night. Like I'm a night owl, but I understand that when it comes to being productive and making the most of my day, that's not necessarily how I function the best. And so what do? Sunday night to Thursday night, I try to be in bed and sleeping by 10 p.m. the latest. Sometimes it's a little bit later depending on the day, but at the end of the day, if I go to sleep later, that just means I'm getting less hours of sleep that night, because regardless, I'm waking up between 6 or 6:30 so I can get what I have to get done. And yeah, so that has really helped me. If you guys, you know, are feeling like you're not maximizing your day or like getting the most out of your day, I would definitely recommend trying to get up a little bit earlier. Right, so now the fourth thing that I have on my list, that is using a planner. So again, if you guys have watched any of my 6 a.m. morning routine videos, you guys know that I try to plan out my day hour by hour. So I bought this digital planner in the beginning of the year. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you guys. So I don't know if you guys can really see. You can't really tell, but it breaks everything down by a month, and then when you click into every month, then it has like a calendar breakdown. So what I like to do is I like to kind of write out everything that I have planned for the month, and then you can click into every day, and then you can go ahead and plan. Let me see, can it focus? So I don't know if you guys can really tell, but you can plan every single day hour by hour, because sometimes I get overwhelmed with how much stuff I have to do in the day. So when I go ahead and write it down, one, it doesn't leave room for me to forget that I have to like do a certain thing, because I've wrote it down. And sometimes when I have so much to do, when I go lay in bed at night, I'm literally full of anxiety because of all the things that I have in my mind that I have to do. So in the beginning of the year, I was writing down everything I had to do in the beginning of the day, but because I found that it was hard for me to go to bed because I was just thinking about everything that I had to do the next day, what I've started to do is I try to write out my to-do list the night prior, because that way when I go to bed, I'm not worried about everything that I have to do the next day. I already know that I have my day outlined, and then that way when I wake up with an intention and I know what my plan is for the day. So yeah, so just like writing a to-do list and just having my planner and just being able to like look at everything and know what I have on my agenda for the month, and creating my content for the month has been very helpful. So definitely, I used to be the type of girl who was like, oh, you know, planners are not for me, like that's just too much. But honestly, I don't know if it's because of the age that I'm at or just because of the responsibilities that I have, but having a planner and just planning out my day and having everything written out has been so helpful. So I would definitely recommend, and I'll go ahead and link down below the planner that I am using down below in my description box. All right, and so now the last thing that I have on my list is staying consistent. So I feel like this is kind of the key, because you can have all these plans for yourself and you can say like, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, but if you don't stay consistent, then it doesn't become a part of your routine, and then it doesn't become a lifestyle change. Like a lot of these things that I've mentioned, they've now become a lifestyle changes. It's not just something that I do, you know, for a short period of time. It's something that has now become a part of my life, and I feel like that's really why I feel like I've kind of leveled up in certain aspects, because I have made these lifestyle changes. But the only way that they became lifestyle changes was because I stayed consistent with it. And then if I didn't do these things, then I was just like, wait, there's something's wrong. Like it felt like my routine was off, and so now all of these things are a part of my routine, and so if I don't do them, now I feel like there's something wrong. And I only got there because I stayed consistent with them. But with all that being said, I'm over here talking about all the good things and all the things that I've picked up in 2024 and all the things that have helped me level up. However, there definitely are some things that I set out to do that I have slacked off on, and that is again because I wasn't consistent. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into some of the things that I have kind of slacked off on in 2024 and that I plan on really trying to focus on in the rest of 2024, because most of the things that I've mentioned have already become a part of my life. And so now for the rest of the 6 months in 2024, I want to make sure that I am consistent with other things so that I am able to reach the other goals that I have for myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and list off some of the things that I've really slacked off on in the past few months. So the first one is my gratitude journal. So again, if you guys have watched my 6 a.m. morning routine videos, you guys will know that a part of my morning routine was to write in my gratitude journal. I really find that it was a really good way of starting my day, which is starting off my day with gratitude, and then at the end of the day writing the good things that happened in the day, and then ending off my day with gratitude. I was really consistent with it for about, I would say, like 4 months, but because of all the traveling that I've been doing this year, I did kind of slack off on my gratitude journal, because when, you know, I was on these trips, I wouldn't do it, and then I would come back, and then it was like hard for me to pick it back up again. And honestly, since I got back from Colombia, it hasn't been something that I've done, and it's something that I want to get back into, because again, I just feel like it is such a positive way to start your day and end your day with gratitude and just being grateful. So that's definitely something that I want to pick up doing again and be consistent with in the rest of 2024 and again moving forward. So now the second thing is tracking my mood. So in the digital planner that I was telling you guys about, one of the sections is mood tracker, and I was very consistent with this again for like 4 months, and I kind of slacked off because of traveling, but I found that that was very, very helpful for me, because there are some times where I can have really, really low days, and you know, sometimes I can't necessarily pick up on why I had those low days. So being able to track my mood was very, very helpful, because when I had those really positive days, I would go in and I'd color in that it was either a productive day or it was a happy day, or you know, whatever the mood was. And so, you know, for the first like 3 months, a lot of those days were colored in with like happy and productive days, and just being able to look back at that made me really, really happy, and it made me continue to want to do what it is that I was doing so I could have those moods. And then the days that I felt down or I wasn't really in the best mood, it helped me really figure out what it is that happened that day, so that I knew what it was that made me feel sad or whatever, and so that way moving forward I could kind of avoid that. So like, for example, there were some days that I felt really, really down, and when I would go back to try to figure out why, a lot of those days I would spend a lot of my time on social media. I would wake up and I would go on social media, and so I realized that I had to really be mindful about my social media intake, because it really did affect my mood. So that is just like one example. And then overall, I just feel like being able to track your mood and, you know, at the end of the month kind of figure out of the 30 or 31 days in that month, how many days I was happy, productive, sad, didn't feel well, all that stuff. Like, it just really helps, because again, it could really help you kind of dictate how it is that you move into the next month and what it is that you have to do so that you have more of those happy and productive days in a month to follow. So again, that is something that I realized that I had been slacking on, so I've been doing this month, and I'm gonna try to just stay consistent with it. All right, so now the third thing that I have written down is not getting back into my routine after traveling. So like I've been saying, a lot of the reasons why I've slacked off on some of the things that I've mentioned is because it's hard for me to kind of get back into my routine once I come back from vacation. And I think that part of that is like laziness and using that as an excuse. I will say, like, obviously when you come back from vacation, sometimes you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation. So I can understand like giving yourself like a day or two to like slack off and try to get back into your routine. But I feel like after that point, like, if you're not getting back into routine, it's because you don't want to get back into the routine, you know what I mean? So I need to get back into the mindset. It's like, okay, vacation's over, get back into the routine. You have other things, like you're going to the gym, you're waking up at 6 a.m. There's no reason why you have to slack off on all these other things. So I have a trip coming up next month. So next month will be the test of me being like, okay, I know I'm probably gonna be tired from my vacation, but that doesn't mean that I have to stop what I have to do and just pick up everything, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna stop traveling. I love traveling. It's something that's literally just a part of my life. So I just need to be able to travel and then give myself a day or two and then get right back into what it is that I do once I'm here. Right, so now the last thing that I have written down that I have slacked off on is not being consistent with short form content. So this is definitely probably the one that bothers me the most and that really gets in my head the most, is the fact that I haven't been consistent with short form content, because it is literally a part of this journey that I'm on of becoming a content creator. And I've been super good with my long form content and posting regularly here on YouTube, but for some reason, like, short form content, I just get so in my head about, and I just like slack off when I start to overthink. And I just think that, again, because I haven't been consistent with producing short form content, it hasn't really become a part of my routine of like, you need to bang out these certain amount of videos every week. And so because I may not have like a content idea, then I'm just kind of like, all right, whatever, I'm just not gonna post. And at the end of the day, like, there's no way that I am gonna see the growth that I want if I'm not consistent. And so I have been trying to make a really big effort of planning my content, and even if I'm not 100% happy with the content, just putting it out anyways, because that is really the only thing that's gonna help me perfect my craft and really be happy with content moving forward. Because again, it's just like anything, you're only gonna get better with time and with the effort that you put into it. So that is definitely something that moving forward for the next 6 months and onward, I want to be consistent with and put just as much effort as I put into YouTube into my short form content, because I want to grow my audience in all platforms outside of just YouTube. So I am going to definitely put a lot more effort into that and just be a little bit less of a perfectionist when it comes to that short form content, because I feel like that would really help with putting out that content as consistently as I want to. So yeah, so those are some of the things that I have implemented in my life to really help me level up in this year, and as well as some of the things that I've slacked off on that I plan on really honing in for the rest of 2024. I felt like it was a perfect time to kind of sit down and do this video since we are 6 months into the year. And I feel like maybe for some of you guys, this is like a little bit of a wake-up call, like, okay, I have all these goals that I set out for myself in 2024, and you know, you guys can maybe reflect and be like, have I really been doing what I have to do to reach those goals? And maybe this is the push that you needed to really sit down with yourself and figure out what you need to do so that you can reach those goals, or to pat yourself on the back for being consistent and doing what you have to do to reach some of the goals goals that you have for yourself. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you guys enjoy these like sit down chit chat videos. If you guys have any topics you guys would like for me to like discuss, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you get notified every single time I post a new video. And if you made it to the end of this video, I love you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Mwah. Bye.